So you would agree with me that sadness, grief, and feelings of hopelessness are part of human experiences from time to time. But research has it that the moment this sadness, grief, and feelings of hopelessness exceeds few days to 2 weeks, we need to check it, because that will be signs of depressive disorder. If you find yourself in this category, why not hang on, because we are going to be treating that in our Monday motivation today after the break. All right, welcome guys, welcome to our Monday motivation. My name is Moses Warribo and this is Think Tank TV. So last week I was scrolling through my phone and I stumbled on a comedy skit prepared by Angel Comedy. I saw a young man who was looking very tattered and rickety walking on the road. So he stumbled on a 500 naira note on the ground. When he saw the money, he was astonished. So he picked up the money, and while he tried to lift up his face to move, at about a meter interval, he saw another 500 naira note. He picked it up. In amazement, he started moving, and at every 1 meter interval, he kept seeing 500 naira notes. A guy who was quite broke amazingly kept picking the 500 naira note until he found himself in a compound where the gate was locked against him. He was already kidnapped. So I thought about sharing the topic I titled The Subconscious Open Air Concentration Camp. You see, most of us, this is how we find ourselves. But I'd like to first of all find out, what is a concentration camp? A concentration camp is a place where a large number of people are imprisoned, probably against their will. So this is how majority of us find ourselves. We find ourselves in a subconscious open air concentration camp where we are not willing to be there, but for some reasons we find ourselves there. So what do I refer to a subconscious open air concentration camp to be? You see a person who gets married, for instance, to a woman who he really doesn't love. A woman gets married to a man who she really doesn't love, but for what I refer to as status symbols or for personal reasons, they go into the marriage without being really happy in the marriage. You see a person who sends his children to a school where he really cannot afford. He begins to struggle to pay the school fees. He knows that his financial ability is not convenient for him to keep his children in this school, but he does keep them in that school. Why? Because of what people would say. You see a person who goes to buy a car that he knows that his financial status is not enough to maintain, but because he wants to keep up with what I call status symbols, he wants to meet up to the standard, he wants to do what people will be pleased about, he finds himself struggling. Why do we want to treat this topic? Because truth is, while we try to hit the road on a Monday to try to make ends meet, the outflow of our finances plays a major role in how we become financially stable. You see, I used to be this person that always thinks about what will people say. But I was watching a podcast today by Joyce Meyer, and it really astonished me. It turned my mind around. She said some words that are very captivating. She said something. She said, our freedom is something that we cannot and should not bargain for any reason. Most of us live our lives for someone else. Most of us live our life for circumstances, for situations, just for societal pressures. But today, this is what we want to treat on our Monday motivation. All right, so what are the signs you should be checking out for to know if you are in an open air concentration camp or you're gradually beginning to find yourself there? The first one is that you have lack of peace of mind. You don't have peace of mind. You don't feel happy anymore. You don't feel yourself. You don't find the truest you. You are gradually beginning to go into what they call a subconscious open air concentration camp. You need to watch it. The second sign you need to check if you are gradually going into what we call an open air concentration camp, you're being bullied at work. You are beginning to have low productivity. You find yourself not being happy at your place of work. You find yourself not being happy doing what you're doing. This is the time you need to make decision to say, no, I can't live my life for someone else. The third sign you should be checking out for, you have a sense of emptiness. You're beginning to lose interest for the activities you usually would love to attend. The things you like to do. You used to be a lively person. You used to go out for events. But all of a sudden, you're beginning to lose interest for all of them. You want to be alone. You feel empty. You don't feel satisfied anymore. You need to check it. So the fourth sign you will check out for is loss of appetite. You lost appetite. You don't want to eat anymore. You used to be a person who loved different kind of delicacies. You love interesting meals and all that. But all of a sudden, you don't want to eat. You lose interest in eating. You lose interest in drinking. You lose interest in associating. You need to check it at this point because you're gradually beginning to go into what we call a subconscious open air concentration camp. So let's jump right into the solutions. How can you liberate yourself? Hear what Joyce Meyer said. She said, you are never free until you no longer have to impress anybody. The first thing you need to know is you need to become aware of the fact that you're gradually creeping into a subconscious open air concentration camp. When you become aware, you have what we call self-realization. Get aware of the fact that you're doing things to please people. Get aware of the fact that you're gradually beginning to lose appetite. Get aware of the fact that you're beginning to begin to feel empty. Get aware of the fact that you're gradually beginning to live your life for someone else. And you don't have to do that. I realize that I don't have to live my life for anyone. Why? Life is a gift that was given to us. No wonder Jim Rohn said something. He said, don't spend major money on minor things. Become aware. The second thing you need to do is to seek a counselor. Go for counseling. Get a professional help. Talk to someone that should let you know what you need to do. Get a person that you can pay if you can afford it. If you cannot pay for it, do the next thing, which is to go for research. Pick up books that will give you freedom. Pick up books that talks about courage. Pick up books that talks about how you can live your life for yourself. The moment you do this, you begin to feel a sense of freedom in your life. The next and the final thing you need to do is stop pleasing people. You know, no matter what we do, we'll always have people who will complain about our lives. Live your life. Become free with yourself. Leave any place where you find low self-esteem. Leave people who do not appreciate you. Live the life that will give you inner peace. Become the truest of yourself. Because that is the best gift you can give to yourself. Someone said something and I think I concur with that. He said, majority of the terminal diseases and sicknesses we have are generated from bitterness, pains, envy, anguish and all that. It degenerates into what we call cancer and all that. So you want to live a free life. You want to live a happy life. You want to live the truest of yourself. If you're in a job where you do not find happiness, where you're being bullied, if you're in a job where you do not feel happy to go to, if you're in a job where you're beginning to find that you have low productivity, get out of the job. Let go that job. Because majority of the times we get scared of leaving our jobs. Why? Because we always feel like, what if I leave the job? How will I get another one? But before you leave the job, you can begin to find something else because you want to experience the truest nature of yourself. Life is a gift. And the moment you can express freedom, then you begin to enjoy the fullness of the package you have in life. I trust you've learned something today because I'm living the truest nature of myself. And mind you, it's not about all you have, but who you are. My name is Moses Warrior and this is Think Tank TV. Try to subscribe to our station. Try to follow us because we do our best to bring content that will be of help to you. We do our best to bring content that would help you come out of the shackles you find yourself. This is Think Tank TV. Give us a thumbs up. Do a comment to us. We'd love to hear from you. We'd like to hear your part of the story. If you have a depressive situation, if you have a story you want to share that people could learn from, shoot us a mail and we're going to be here to serve you.